Hey everybody, kicking back with me today, I have got Kyle Daukaus, fresh off his win from UFC Shanghai. Kyle, that was awesome. I was there with you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How good did that knockout feel over Michel Pereira?
I mean, it felt great. It felt great to win, but to win in that kind of fashion and that quickly, it felt that much better. So it's good. I'm excited. I'm still kind of buzzing off the high of the fight. So yeah, it's good.
I would imagine you are still buzzing. Okay, so folks, who just for a little timeline here, it's Tuesday now. Both of us were in Shanghai. I got back like Sunday afternoon or so for you. But what was that? Like you, that's a long way to go for a welcome back fight. But were
Yeah,
you basically like anytime, any place, as long as I can come back, I'll go?
yeah. I figured I had to be. It's kind of how I had to have a mindset for that. I figured I had to be ready at all times.
Hmm.
When my manager had called me and said that it was going to be in Shanghai, I said I can't really say no with the opportunity that it is against Pereira. So
Yes.
yeah, it's an opportunity that I can't give up. So I figured it would be okay and I would be good.
Well, and what did you think of actually being in Shanghai anyway? Like it was kind of cool. I mean, it's
Yeah,
hot
it
as
was
hell,
pretty
but it was
sweet.
kind of cool.
Yeah, I was when I had landed, I did not expect the humidity to be that bad.
Yeah.
My brother and I walked around a good amount throughout the week, so it kind of helped my weight cut. But it was very, very hot. It was like 102, 103 degrees. It was crazy. I didn't expect it to be
Mhm.
that hot, but it was very clean. It was very nice. People were very nice and everything like that. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Very cool. So, for those who don't know, I should back up a little bit. I still remember the report I gave on you as you were walking out. So, for folks who don't know, Kyle was signed in 2019 on season three of Dana White's Contender Series. He competed 7 times. But at the end of 2022, after your fight with Eryk Anders, they let you go. But you fought back
Mhm.
in Cage Fury. You became the champion there. You came into
Yep.
this fight on a 4 fight win streak. So now you're on a 5 fight win streak. But how difficult was it for you to regroup after leaving the UFC and show up at Cage Fury and commit to Cage Fury and not think of it as like, oh man, no, I got to start all over, or maybe you did, but like, how did you go from one place to the other and build yourself back?
Uh, I mean, my mentality after the fight, after I had lost to Anders, I wasn't
Hmm.
really sure what was next. Obviously, they
Yeah.
didn't. They my contract wasn't renegotiated or anything like that. So I was very upset. Obviously, I didn't really watch fighting or watch the UFC or anything like that for about 2 months. I had fought in February afterwards, so I fought Anders in December, and I
Hmm.
believe I fought in February. But for the time being, I just didn't watch any of the fights. People were asking me to come over. I was like, nah, I'm just not interested. Like, I'm just going to fight. Talked to a couple of my buddies at the gym, and they were like, "Listen, we can look at this as like a setback, or we can look at it as like a rebirth kind of thing." And that's how I kind of took it. Like, look at it as like a rebirth, like an opportunity for me to get my feet back into the regional scene, show how dominant I am in the regional scene, and then eventually like make sure the UFC knows that like I shouldn't be in the regional scene, that I should be in the UFC.
Well, and that's really smart of you to do that. And to
Yeah,
to to that end, you were kind of blowing them up, right? That was another part of
yeah,
my report is that you were blowing these guys up on social. So, what was that plan of attack for you in terms of trying to get their attention again?
yeah. I mean, that's kind of the world we live in now. Social media
Yeah.
is the world we live in. Anybody that can kind of, talk on social media obviously gets a good buzz. You get a big following. They see that, and then that kind of, I feel like it's a perk to not only being good at fighting, but if you can be good on social media as well, it's a perk. So yeah, I just kind of took that and just kind of, I was very uncomfortable doing it, but it's something that I have to be comfortable
Mhm.
um, with the time we live in now. Uh, so yeah, it was just an opportunity for me to kind of get out there and just stay relevant in the whole MMA scene and kind of just speak my mind and hopefully get eyes on it. And I feel like I kind of did.
Well, becoming a CFFC champion is definitely relevant. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
Yes.
you
Yes.
shouldn't discount the merits of Cage Fury. A lot of
Yeah.
great fighters have come there, from there, and it is a great promotion.
Mhm.
And obviously, the thing about going out of the UFC and coming back, like look at a guy like Brandon Moreno. You know what I mean? All of
Yeah.
a sudden, you're back and you're a champion.
Yeah. And you see that with guys like Moreno. There's another guy, Yusuf Zalal, I think it is.
Yes,
He's
Yusuf
he's
is like killing it on his second
Yeah,
run.
and he's in like the top 10 now in his division. So
Hmm.
it's good to see. It's very motivating to see, and it's just it's like an opportunity for me to jump in there and be like one of those guys for other guys that come to the UFC that might get cut, and then they see me, you know, with a good fashion that I've won. Then they
Hmm.
that kind of gives them hope.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I feel like you have a great position now to maybe
Yeah,
give some insight and give some tips to people. So, what is it that they need to focus on the most if they do get cut and want to bring themselves back?
just stay winning. I feel
Yeah.
like that was kind of the biggest thing that I could have done was just to make sure I was dominant in my performances outside of the UFC. Uh, they love guys that finish fights. 3 out of the 4 fights that I had were finishes, so that
Mhm.
plays a factor into it. But also, like before I was signed, uh, in the very beginning, I think I don't think any of my fights were decisions beside my contender series fight, and that was it. So yeah, I feel like just making sure you win fights, making sure that you're kind of you know speaking your mind amongst the MMA community, get out there, shake hands, kiss babies, do everything that you possibly can to kind of just be nice and be social amongst the MMA guys so everybody knows you. It'll definitely help.
I will say though, it doesn't surprise me the fact that you didn't watch it for a little while. Like I would
Yeah,
think, I don't know if it's even if you're licking your wounds or whatever, but I feel like maybe it's like breaking up with a girl, right? Where you're just
yeah,
like,
right.
I don't want to
Yeah,
be
I
here
don't want to
right
see that. Yeah, yeah. That's
now.
I feel like that's how I took it.
Yeah.
The whole like situation and the way that everything went, I just wasn't comfortable with like my career of being in the UFC, of being 2-4 and 1 in the UFC. It just to me, it just like I had a bad taste in my mouth, and I think it was a little motivating too. But like I told myself, like I need a little bit of time away from watching and like seeing that and just getting back to where I was in the very beginning of this whole career, and I wasn't in the career to I was obviously started out in the career to be in the UFC and be the best. But I feel like once I got into the UFC in the beginning, I was like, okay, like I'm here. Like I took everything for granted. I wasn't really like, I figured I would have been there for a very long time. And that wasn't the case. So now my second approach now is, I'm just going to take things slow. I don't want to rush anything or anything like that. And just make sure that I'm winning and being smart.
Yeah, I also remember saying that you knew what to expect now in the UFC,
Yep.
that you said, you went away, you improved your striking, but also your mindset was improved because now
Yep.
you do know what to expect. So yeah, it's interesting, right? You like you just said, you got there and then you kind of thought it was going to be easier than it was
Mhm.
once you were there.
No, I feel like just that I got there. There was like a relief
Okay.
of stress of like the unknown of
Okay.
being in the UFC. I was like, wow, like I'm finally here. Uh, but then once I was there, I got kind of like too complacent and too comfortable, just like training. Like I wasn't
Okay.
like I feel like myself personally, I wasn't like as motivated and whatnot because I was already there, and I was like, oh, okay, like I'll be here for a while. Like I'll fight my fights. I'll try to get to the top if I can, but that's not the way it went. Like I had lost 4 fights, so it was kind of annoying. But yeah, the second time around, I'm very 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 motivated. I know what to expect. I know where I'm going to go, and I'm ready for like what's next.
Well, defeating Michel Pereira, this is a guy that is so creative,
Yeah.
such a creative striker, and can be a bit of a tricky puzzle to figure out. So when in light of everything, you were like, I don't care. Literally, I'm sure it could have been any name, and you would have said yes. But
Yeah.
when it was Michel Pereira, and then you're like, ah, geez, like this guy is like a striking machine. So what
Yeah.
did you actually think of the actual matchup?
I mean, I thought it was a bad matchup, like on his part,
Okay.
just based off like me being on a 4 fight winning streak, him on a
Uh-huh.
2 fight losing streak. I feel like he had a lot